Right, folks, let's take the landmark judgment home, in a manner of speaking. Just after the judgment, Mr. President received in audience visitors and politicians who came to congratulate him on the landmark judgment. Let's share the moments with you. Yeah, BKO, so it's only natural for Mr. President to get these august visitors, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm even wondering what they come to say to the president at this stage. Don't know.
Too early to.
But
no, it's in the nature of politicians to do things like this.
I don't know. They didn't take me along with them. I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I mean, the president is someone they see all the time, especially these people. So there are many issues that need to be trashed out. The issue of
national issues.
Yes, the issue of national minimum wage, which we are going into now. Has to be dealt with. The National Assembly leadership has a role to play because once the minimum wage is agreed and it becomes law, we expect Nigerians to respect the law. And we also expect the National Assembly to expeditiously deal with the matter and transmit the bill to the President for assent. So I know that at this stage, the President and the National Assembly leadership will be talking so that we don't spend too much time. We've already lost so much time. We don't spend too much time in getting the National Assembly to do the needful and for the President to give his assent so that the new minimum wage can kick in.
Yeah.
So, and today they were with the President met with the labor leaders, and of course the matter was not concluded, so they'll be back again next week. Yes, they'll be back again next week to continue the discussion. As I've said repeatedly on this program, the issue of national minimum wage is something that is emotive, and you do not expect that it won't take time before a decision is reached. Well, I agree that if we had started earlier, maybe by this time we will have agreed on yes, but naturally there will be debates, all of these things take time, but at the end of the day, I'm confident that we'll have a minimum wage, and hopefully it won't be what the NSC president described as a slave wage.
Yes, slave wage, yeah. Dr. Deji Folutile, the Senate president said the other day that 2-3 or so days ago that state governors have the means, the wherewithal to pay an agreed national minimum wage. He should know, don't you think?
Well, we should all know. Not even the Senate president, because I don't think there is anything really secret about the revenue that goes even to state governments. They are published, and also we have an idea of what they do generate internally too, and also the opportunities that are available for them to generate more revenue if they seriously want to. And I also
the number 3 citizen said also that states are getting more than what they used to get.
Exactly. That's why I said it's open to all of us, especially with the fuel subsidy removal and the rest. I think for me it's a question of priority. Whatever the states prioritize. If they prioritize the welfare of their workers, I think it's something they can do, because I know that there are states that are poor, true. But how many staff do they have? You cannot compare the staff strength of a state like Gombe, Taraba with that of Lagos, for example, neither can you compare that of Ekiti or Osun State with Lagos or Rivers. You understand? So even if these states get more allocation, if they get more revenue, we also know that they have more responsibilities.
Yeah.
So it's
I'm enamored when I discuss things like this. The Edo State governor said he was paying 70,
and that he planned to pay it for whatever reason, and he's paying it. So that's why I said it's a question of priority. If the states really think the welfare of their workers is very important and paramount, I think they should be able to pay whatever the federal government agrees on. And if there is going to be any difference, it's supposed to be very slight. That's my expectation.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Comrade Ajero, are you there? Can you hear me? Hello, Comrade Ajero. Can you hear me? Are you there?
I'm hearing them at the studio where she was talking about. Yeah. Okay. I can hear you clearly.
Okay, this is TVC Lagos. Yeah? Yeah, Comrade, let's quickly go there. You know, the meeting with Mr. President ended not too long ago, and you are continuing next week. Can you tell us something? What can you tell us?
Well, you know, like you actually captured it, we are continuing next week. We had some fruitful deliberation with Mr. President, where he tried to explain the situation in terms of revenue. You know, dwelt a lot on the subsidy removal and Nigerians not paying enough on energy, and the cost they are selling in some West African countries, Cameroon saying about 2,000 and others, and we took all those comments and explained to him what Nigerian workers are passing through. The inflation is talking of that they are the worst hit, and then comparatively, you know, what Nigerians were earning in the 80s and currently in Naira terms. You know, we put all those, we equally have a little understanding on the frequency of the review. You know, he didn't have any objection on review of minimum wage for 2 years or 3 years, since we can't sentence the whole workers for another long review period based on the way things are happening. So on the basis of that, you know, we agreed to meet again by next week, Thursday. We took a week, you know, to review all this and come back.
Yeah. Do you see light at the end of the tunnel, as they say? Did you hear that?
Well, it's complicated. You know, the entire yes, it's complicated. The Nigerian Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, will not want the wage increase pegged on any further a review in either PMS or whatever. That's the complicated aspect of it. You know, so, and that's why we want to have a holistic conversation on all this. And then maybe when we meet again, we'll discuss.
Okay, then.
President, there are those who have come up with this argument that the way it is now, that some states are unable to pay so much, and that it should actually be deregulated, that the minimum wage should be deregulated as we have it in America. What is the position of the NLC on this? Would you want to agree to that? And the law permits the Minister of Labour to enforce the minimum wage law. Why is it so difficult to enforce it in our country?
Well, just the minimum wage law, just like any other law in the country, you know, we have had that challenge of enforceability. Enforceability in terms of we are not lacking in the number of laws and good laws, but just the enforcement. Yes, deduct without remitting. The Act criminalizes it, you know, just on and on and on. So enforcement has been a problem, especially when it comes to issues that has to do with the people who can't even hire lawyers to defend themselves. But on what you said about the regulation of wages, even in America you mentioned, you know, have a common rule on minimum wage. Minimum wage is that benchmark that you can't pay a citizen of any country, you know. And then when you now look at it, in various regions, maybe state of California or New York, will now go and improve on it. But there is a limit that they can't go below. And that is equally what is obtainable here. The minimum wage is the least they are supposed to pay here. I can tell you that some of the states paying are not paying that $30,000. I will give you an example with Edo State. You know, Edo is paying $40,000, while minimum wage is $30,000. You know, some other states are paying 35, some are paying 33, some are not paying at all. The problem mainly is usually that of priority. There is no relationship, no correlation between states that are poor, you know, and states that are rich and what they are paying in terms of minimum wage. It depends so much on their priority. You know, if you, Edo that I cited now is not the richest state in the country. You know, so other dynamics come into it. So we can, because of it, refuse to protect Nigerians, especially when we expect foreigners, you know, to come and invest here. If you watch before now, the 2020 CAMA, they will make provision for companies that are coming in here to register. But now it has lessened it. Companies can come here and start business and pay whatever they like. So that's why we need to equally protect our people, you know, in employment. On the issue of even paying whatever they like, you agree with me that from councillors, local government chairmen, to governors and the members of assembly, senators from states that don't have money, they're earning the same thing. So do we now, you know, deregulate it so that senators from states that don't have money will earn maybe 50,000? Those that come from states that have money will pay maybe 100,000. So I don't think that is the issue. What I think, you know, we need to look at it and see, you know, what is best for our country.
Let's look at the organized private sector, because so much attention is being paid to governors, some of who are simply refusing to pay even the old minimum wage. Are are our friends in the organized private sector prepared to pay from the feelers that you are getting?
Well, the issue of paying minimum wage, even when it was 3,000, there was even more strikes in the country to implement it. It has nothing to, even the private sector. However, the report we have before us now from the organized private sector, and I'm talking organized private sector, the real sense of it, I'm not talking of these SMEs. Now, shows that at least the least paid there today is getting about 78,000. As of today that we are discussing. Now, the issue of we will not be able to pay, we cannot pay, has been there. No employer, classically speaking, comes out to pay, whatever you agree. And I'm not sure they are the worst employers in terms of implementing the previous minimum wages. However, they have other challenges with regards to the ease of doing business. The energy costs, all these other challenges, but even the removal of a subsidy increased the cost of doing business. But relatively speaking, they were equally increasing their margin of their products. If you discover what was sold at 10,000 before, as of now it's sold for 30,000. Now it is wage that is constant, and it's unacceptable. Assuming it is milk that was 2,000 before and is 6,000 now, the worker who was earning 30,000 before cannot continue to buy that. So as they are increasing the margin of the products that they are producing, the people that should equally buy these products, should be able to buy it. So I don't agree with the concept of having, increase in cost, increase in prices of consumable products, and keeping the wage constant. If you keep wage constant, even those companies and industries will not survive.
Comrade, we thank you for your time. Thank you very much. And that's Comrade Joe Ajaero, President, NLC. Let's go on a quick commercial break. Please stay with us. Thank you.
State His Excellency, Right Honorable Builder Francis Ogbonnanwifuru, FNIOB, GGCEHF, on behalf of the government and people of Ebonyi State, heartily welcome the National Chairman of All Progressives Congress, APC, His Excellency, Dr. Abdullahi Omar Ganduje, members of the National Working Committee, the Chairman, Progressive Governors Forum, and Governor of Imo State, His Excellency, Senator Hope Uzodimma, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, honorable ministers and National Assembly members of the Southeast Extraction, and indeed all stakeholders of the party to the grand finale of the APC campaign rally preparatory to July 20th local government election in Ebonyi State. The rally will hold as follows. Date, Saturday, July 13, 2024. Venue, Pangelorita Township Stadium, Abakaliki. Time, 11 a.m. Announcer, Engineer Jude Chika Dibiokwo, Honorable Commissioner for Information and State Orientation, Ebonyi State.
Okay, then, welcome back. The last moments now. BKO, quickly, what were you able to deduce from what Comrade Ajaero said? Yes,
he's confident from the first statement that came out of his mouth. He's confident that the engagement with the president would at least help the NSA achieve its aim of getting a minimum wage that is above what we've been told the tripartite committee minus Labour had agreed upon, which is 62,000 naira. Yes, he admitted that it's a little complicated. We expect it to be because, look, workers want to survive, and their leaders are doing their best to drive home that point that, look, things are so bad in the country that if you do not pay what they are asking for, then the average worker is not likely to survive. And let's face it, if a bag of rice is selling at more than 70,000,
yeah,
at least the monthly salary of a worker, the least paid worker, should be able to buy a bag of rice. That is the analogy, and I do not quarrel with that analogy. So this is a difficult time for labor leaders themselves because they know that it's difficult to get what will please the average worker from the government. So government to complain about revenue, the fact that what we are spending to even service our debts is so huge. So government too has its issues. But hopefully we'll be able to get a new minimum wage sooner than later.
Yeah. Finally, how do you weigh in on this?
Well, I think from the way he spoke, I expect that they will meet with the executives of the union and the rest, and that they are likely to also go down on their 250,000 naira minimum wage demand. And I believe that at the end of the day, both parties
will meet somewhere in the middle
and get out of this.
Okay, gentlemen, our job is done. We must go, but not before thanking BKO. Thank you, BKO, for your time.
Thank you.
And we thank the proud Ijebu lady, Dr. Olabisi Deji Olutile. I thank you.
Thank you. So maybe I will get a chieftaincy title soon. This way you talk about my Ijebu heritage.
Okay, it's all right. We are done, but if you missed any part of this, not to worry, we have a repeat broadcast slated for 11 later tonight. And of course, on Sunday, as I always say, we expand the fare for you, 2 hours beginning from 1:30 and 3:30, And to also inform you, we are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now. Take care.